Hello there guys, Francis Gray here, and today we're going to be printing off and building the iconic character Pyramid Head from the Silent Hill franchise. Okay guys, so as you can see here, this is a free file on Thingiverse. If you don't know what Thingiverse is, basically it's a website online where you can download free 3D files for you to print off on your filament or your resin printers. So this file here was uploaded by a user mag/net, and these are the files that you get inside. So you've obviously got the main figure of the Pyramid Head here, upright main body, and then he's got his iconic blade, and then he's dragging one of those two-legged monsters that are featured in the franchise. So he's also done some nurses as well, so I might go ahead and print off some of those at a later date. So I think those will make nice accessories. But if we look at the actual accessories and we get in the file, so there's a torso with the helmet, you got the main legs/apron section, then you got the two parts to the leg monster, part A, part B, then you got the two parts to the main blade, so it's the handle and the blade, then that's what it looks like all built up together, and then there's a separate extra file where he's added supports for the bottom of the helmet. So yeah, I really like the look of this one. It's a really high detail model, so yeah, I'll go ahead and I'll download this and I'll open it up in Matter Control. Okay guys, so here he is in Matter Control. As you can see there, this is quite impressive. Lots of detail in this one. So let's have a zoom in. So it's not great camera angles at the moment, I'm afraid. So as you can see there, there's plenty of detail on the helmet there. Loads of like cogs and struts and bumps and lumps and yeah, lots of stuff to highlight detail on. The main blade itself, you've got like a zigzag pattern on the back there, and then you got some invitation marks on the side, and this will come up really nice when dry brushing. And then you've got the leg monster. It's obviously part A, part B. So yeah, all in all, I'm really impressed with the look of this. So I'm looking forward to printing this out. So yeah, let's get printing. Okay guys, so what I ended up doing first of all was I ended up slicing the actual helmet off the main torso, and I cleaned up the undersides as well, so as you can see there, that's what's left. So this way I can print off the helmet and keep it as a separate file, the file from the body, and that should be a lot easier to work with later on. So yeah, let's go create a file and print it off.
A few inches later.
Okay guys, so as you can see there, that has captured a lot of awesome detail. So I'm really happy with that. So yeah, so for the next part I'm going to print off the torso. Okay guys, so as you can see here, this is the top part of the torso to Pyramid Head. Now as you can see there, this is nice and smooth. What I've done is this is where I sliced it off from the main helmet itself. The reason why I did that was I don't think I'll be able to fit this torso in with the with this extra access on the arms and then have a long helmet pointing the opposite direction. So it made more sense to me to cut the two parts separate and then print them off separate. So yeah, so for the next part I'm going to hollow this out. I'm going to add a few little holes in the neck here for two reasons. One, to drain excess resin out, and two, it'll help connect the helmet later on. So yeah, so I'll print this off now and show you the finished results.
Eventually.
Okay guys, so as you can see there, the torso's been printed off. Now there's a few little bits I need to clean up, but for the most part that's turned out really nice. So in comparison to the helmet, as you can see there, that is going to work really nicely. So obviously there's holes posted inside so the resin could drain out when it was upside down. Same goes with the Pyramid Head. So hopefully I can use some of these to help pin it in place. Okay guys, so for the next part I've mixed some milliput and I'm going to start making some connection to the helmet to the actual torso. Now this is rough under here where it was connected to the supports. Now normally I would smooth those down, but with the Pyramid Head creature it seems to have this like weird lumpy skin like texture underneath. So all these little individual little sticky out parts where it was connected to the supports, that'll work fantastic at actually keeping the clay in place. So yeah, so I'll go ahead and I'll I'll add a bit of this, and then we can push it in place, and then hopefully we've got something that looks like Pyramid Head. Okay guys, that's a good start, but I think I might need to mix a little bit more milliput for this. Okay guys, so we'll go ahead and we'll leave that to dry. Okay guys, so now that the milliput is hardened and in place, I've also gone ahead with a little bit of a nail file, and I scratched a few areas that where some of the supports were still left over, so it's all nice and flush now. So for the next part, let's go ahead and let's grey prime this piece. Okay guys, so as you can see here, here's the bottom part to Pyramid Head. This is the skirt part. So as you can see, it's quite wide and quite bulky. Now I've hollowed it out inside to save on filament. The reason why I'm going to go with filament rather than resin is with resin this is a huge chunk, and I'm also wondering if it would actually fit in the build plate, where with the filament I know it would, and also I think filament will probably be stronger once the middle part is filled out. So yeah, so the idea is I'm going to print this out on filament, and then I'm going to fill the inside with normal casting resin, so that should make it a lot stronger later on. So yeah, so I'll print this out and show you the finished results. Okay, so I went ahead and I printed off the bottom part of the Pyramid Head. So this is the, I suppose like a skirt, but it's like a bloodied apron slash skin as well. So it's very weird, but obviously it's iconic to the character. So this was printed off on filament. So it took, I believe it was between 8 and 9 hours to print off. It's hollow inside, and I made sure that there was a bottom so we can hopefully fill this up, and I'm thinking about filling it up with resin. So yeah, so the reason why I want to fill it up is because with it being filament, it's obviously filament's heat applicated, so I don't want to put all the rest of him on, which is resin, and then like I don't know, like over time that this becomes warped and he starts sagging left or right. So yeah, so I'm thinking about mixing up some resin and then pouring it in, and then just put like filler bits inside, like failed attempts at other things, put it inside to wide bulk, and then make the resin line come up to the top. So before I do that, I think I best take off all this bit of skin around the bottom. Okay guys, so you can see that's a lot better now. So for the next stage, I'm going to mix some resin and we're going to fill this bad boy up. Okay guys, so before I go ahead and I mix the resin, I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to add like bits of like resin skin that were from like failed like attempts of other projects and stuff. So basically I'm just going to rip up as much as I can, get as much as I can in there, mix some fresh resin, pour it in, and then hopefully that'll help bulk it all out. Okay guys, so the resin I'm going to be mixing is some of this Polycraft casting resin. So it comes in two parts, part A, part B, and equal measures, 50-50 of both, and then always remember to wear gloves. Okay guys, so that was a bit on the messy side, but it's obviously filled it out and bolted out. So we'll leave all this to dry, and then I might just add a tiny little bit of a top up at the end, just so it's nice, flat and even. Okay guys, so for the next part I've mixed some milliput, and I'm going to go over these parts here, basically because this was built up with filament. You can see where the lines are. So once you grey prime it, you'd probably see all these lines, and I don't want to get that across in the model. So I'm going to use some what's left of me milliput, and I'm going to add a little thin layer over some of the parts.
Eventually.
Okay, so now that the main body part is covered in milliput, for the next stage we'll go ahead and we'll give it a light sanding. Okay guys, so now that this is a little bit smoother, it's probably a good opportunity that we can grey prime this. Okay guys, so I've got a little bit of milliput left over from modelling another part, so instead of wasting it, I'm just going to pour it in here to try and fill this out a bit. Okay guys, so as you can see here, we've got, this is the pyramid head sword. So we've got it in 3 parts, part A, part B and part C. Now the original file, these 2 parts were together. Now the reason why I didn't want to print it all off as one is one of these sides would have struts connected to it, some pillars. So I didn't want there to be any connection seams. So what I did was I made a 0.1 millimeter sheet, put it directly straight down the middle, sliced the 2 parts in half, and then laid them flat, and then obviously kept this as part C. So this way it'll print, and then the bottom underside, which is these parts here, those will be just flat to the bed, and then we don't have to have any annoying any structures or any pegs or anything like that. So yeah, so I'll print off part A, then part B, part C, and I'll do these with filament. Okay guys, so here's the 2 halves of the blade printed, and we've also got the handle as well. Now the handle, we can just put that to one side for now because we won't be needing that anytime soon. For now I want to concentrate on the blade. So obviously these come in 2 halves, so we now need to sandwich and glue these parts together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix up a bit of epoxy resin, part A and part B, equal measure, mix it together with this on this, and then we'll use the clamps to hold it in place. Okay guys, we'll leave that to dry.
2 hours later.
Okay guys, so here is the both parts of the blade glued together, so that's nice and solid now. Now you can still see there's a seam line running down it on both sides, so we'll need to clean that up in a moment. Camera's not really picking that up, so apologies for that. And then also we've got one side that's slightly more protruding than the other side, so this will need smoothing down or filing down. And then this is the handle, and then that's the bottom of the hand, so we'll need to attach that as well. So for the next stage, I'm going to get the Dremel bit out, and I'm going to smooth some of these connection seams. Okay guys, so I went ahead and I filled in the seam line with a little bit of wood filler, and then left it to dry, and then just sanded down the seam. So once this is grey primed, hopefully that'll be a lot smoother and a lot better. So for the next part, I'm just going to add a bit of super glue to the back of this, and then just sandwich it in place, and then we can think about making this part a bit stronger. Okay guys, so we'll go ahead and we'll leave that to dry. Okay, so for the next part guys, I'm going to go ahead and I've mixed a little bit of Abe's epoxy clay, modelling clay, which is part A, part B, equal measures. And I'm going to use that to go over this connection seam here for two reasons. One, because it'll get rid of this horrible seam line, and two, once sanded, it'll make this a lot stronger. There you go guys, that's a lot better now. So we'll leave this to dry, and then we can go ahead and we can sand it smooth. Okay guys, so for the next part I'm going to use this nail file, and I'm just going to file these sides nice and flat. Okay guys, so as you can see there, that's a lot more flatter, a lot more smoother. It's not perfect, there is a few little dings and bats, little here, there, and little nooks and crannies. But I think once grey primed, that'll add to the overall look. So yeah, so for the next stage, let's grey prime. Okay guys, so as you can see here, we've got three separate STL files to the leg monster. So we've got part A, which is where it runs up to the bottom of Pyramid Head's right hand, where he's dragging the creature. And then we've got part B, which is here, which is kind of flat and limp. So it's smooth on the bottom part here. This is where it's going to attach to the floor, so it's going to sit nice and flush. Now later on we can add some score marks to this, and then that'll help glue it to the base. And then this is part C, which was a separate file. Now I had to create this because unfortunately it was not left in the original file. So in the actual original file, when it's all together, there was an extra foot which connected directly to the leg monster via Pyramid Head's right hand. But in the separate files, when it's all been deconstructed, this file wasn't there. So what I'd do was I had to load the full file in, and then slice this foot off, and then delete the rest of it, and then save this as a separate STL. So I hope that made sense. Apologies if not. But yeah, for the next part, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to print these all off separately. So part A, part B, and part C, and then I'll show you the finished results. Okay guys, so now that we've got both parts to the leg monster, we need to think about attaching this. Now as you can see there, there's a little bit of a raised surface on both ends, so it's not sitting flush. So we're going to take a bit of sandpaper, and we're going to take our time, and we're going to sand each side smooth, and then we're going to try and glue this together. Okay guys, that seems to fit a lot better now. So for the next stage, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add some super glue, and then maybe some kind of peg system between these two walls, and then we can start getting rid of this seam. Okay guys, so this video is getting to about the 30-minute mark, so I thought I'd call this part 1 done. Please join us back for part 2, where we'll be printing off more key parts, we'll be connecting those parts, and we'll also be scratch building a brand new base. So there's plenty to look forward to. So if you've enjoyed part 1, please smash that like button and share on Facebook and Twitter, because helps new people find the YouTube channel, which I'm always appreciative for your help. Thank you very much. If you have any comments, just comment below and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. And don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on future builds. So once again, I'm Francis Gray, and this is part 1 of the Pyramid Head from Silent Hill build. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Goodbye.